This is Bill Hughes. I'm sitting in here at Railside Report to do an interview. I'm presently the vice president of the national affiliates of USEF, and at our annual banquet this year, I had the honor of presenting an award to this gentleman to my right, and in the sport horse division, and I would like him to tell you what award you won.
Well, this year we actually this is Bill and Alexis Doughty.
I should say that.
My name is Ben Flynn, and this is Mr. and Mrs. Bill Doughty, Alexis, and they both own the horse.
Great.
And Bill shows him in hand, and Alexis rides him, and I just shout and bark orders at him all the time, you know. But we went to the USEF banquet to get the Supreme Half-Arab Anglo-Arab Award champion. Plus, Bill also got the leading owner, leading breeder award.
Great.
And we're also here, we got the AHA, the Achievement Award for the horse One More Round, who's the one we got the USEF award for. And Alexis also got the Amateur Achievement Award for the AHA this year.
It was very impressive, and we had quite a visit at the Libation Center, for lack of a better word, after the banquet, and had a good time talking. And I kid you with your accent, you're from Ireland, and came over here. And how did you get started in the Arabian horses here in the States?
Well, with the Arabians, it's kind of funny. It's kicking and screaming, I call it, because through a mutual friend, I met Bill and Alexis, and they had Arabians, and typical Irishmen, Arabians, they're crazy, they're wild, they're like, who in God's name wants to touch these creatures, you know? So they kind of asked if I'd help them to go to Idaho to Sport Horse Nationals. And I said, sure, yeah, why not? I like driving, so hey, drive cross country, it's great, get paid to do it. So I show up, and there's all these horses going around, and I have this like stereotype, you know, of the gaited horses and, you know, the English horses and everything. They're just wild and crazy, bug-eyed, you know, type of thing, you know. So it's kind of an ignorance type of thing, you know. Ignorance is bliss, you know. It's very easy to point a finger. But to cut a long story short, the more I got into it, the more I realized that this horse is meant to look this way, not because it's crazy, it's because it's trained to be up, and that the sport horse divisions are just like the open, you know, as far as the hunters are concerned, and what we do is that just long and low and quiet. And I actually, believe it or not, think the people in the Arab industry are more approachable, less arrogant, less egotistical than the open circuit, if I can say this without getting killed.
No, and I think that's interesting. So you really came from outside our breed, and you've done quite well in it.
I've an incredible year. We've had over 25 regional championships. We're talking, like, we went to Georgia with how many horses? 4 horses, and we came out with over 40 first place. We couldn't lose if we tried, even if I tripped and fell. It was incredible.
Had you trained horses in Ireland before you came over?
Not really. No, I'd worked for various people in Ireland. Mike really cut my teeth fox hunting.
Really?
That's how I started. When I was a teenager, started fox hunting, then went into the racing industry, and came over here in '86, and I worked on the flat track in Chicago, went to Keeneland, went to Churchill Downs, ended up in South Carolina, and I'd been working with flat horses, then went on to the steeplechase horses.
I see.
I went back to Europe, went to England, worked for various trainers there, and it went from there, went to show jumping, and polo, cross country, you know, just the whole gamut, I guess, you know. I wanted to know it all, but I never will.
Well, no, but I think it's impressive, and like I said, you and I visited for quite a while, and I thought we were going to talk for 5 minutes, and it went on about 3 hours, and we had a great time, and it was fun to meet you, and like I said earlier, my ancestry goes back to Ireland, and I enjoy that. My dad immigrated from England, but his ancestry came through there.
That's a forgivable offense. I know, that's okay.
That's right. I still say I'm Irish, and
that's good.
I enjoy that a lot, but I think it's impressive to see that you guys have come from a different venue, and you came all the way across the water, so to speak, you've learned your trade here. You've tried different horses, and you've done exceptionally well for your owners, and then gone ahead and he's been a leading trainer himself in an amateur area.
Yeah.
So I think that this is fantastic, and it kind of shows the diversity of the Arabian horse, and it shows that even though they do appear flighty and so forth, they've got a very good brain, and they have the ability to. They're a people horse, you know, and that's the difference. I think that. Well, the other thing about an Arabian, in my experience, is they're very smart. They learn quickly. But they also learn how to avoid quickly.
Oh, for sure.
So you need to kind of be ahead of it, and you have to be a thinker, because the same method may not work exactly for each horse.
Yeah.
And you need to adjust and realize that, okay, if I'm not getting it done, I can't really blame the horse. I have to figure out, well, what am I not doing that this horse can't understand?
That's exactly right.
And if you do that, then it's going to work. And once they figured it out, they are very loyal, and they come forward and you know, and they adjust to different situations. It's funny how if you put a child on a well-trained Arabian mount, they'll settle down and they'll take care of that child. Yeah. You know, and so I was very glad to meet you, and look forward to seeing you in the future. And, you know, in the sport horse division, I think that's an area that's growing in our Arabian group, and I think it's going to continue. It's exciting. It gives people another venue to go to. Plus, you still come to like the Scottsdale Arabian Horse Show, and you show here in different divisions, and you know, we're all together. We're all one big family, so we love to see everybody do well.
Oh yeah, no, and I mean, we did do well.
Well, no, you did great, I'll tell you.
But I will tell you one funny story about flighty horses and stuff like that. We went up to Syracuse, New York, right?
Judge there, been there.
So, but they had an open show going with the Arab show over fences. So the fences were already there, but it was originally for an open show, but they set off. So going back to how everybody says horses are flighty, and was like me when I thought Arabians were all crazy. We went up, there was about 15, 20 warm bloods there, 3 Arabians, and half the people on the warm bloods all fell off the horses, dumped them. It was a cold morning. The Arabians going around, heads down, just, you know, just trotting around. And it's so funny that it's so easy to point the finger and
people
not
don't
understand.
No.
And it's like, but it's what you see. But it's like the halter division is a very hyper division. It's high energy, wild, crazy. But unfortunately, people see the Arabs as that. They don't see the rest of it. And I think with the sport horse division coming on the way it's coming on, where we train hunters, we take our hunters to the open shows, we get ribbons, and they compete in open shows just like as well as they compete at Arab shows. It's just we primarily focus on doing the breed shows.
Right, and I think that's very true. And I've been in this industry many years. I'm not going to say how many, but when I was younger, I used to do the same thing that you talked about. I had a lot of good friends that were riding hunters, and they were Arabian hunters, and we took them to the open circuits. And we had one horse that was unbeaten in California, and none of it would admit that was an Arabian horse, but he was a wonderful horse. I mean, and he was a big little horse, meaning that this horse could go over fences that he never should have gone over. And these people sat back and they really gained appreciation from him. And in fact, in some of the stakes classes, they wouldn't go in if he was there because they knew he was going to beat them. But you know, all horses are different, and if they're trained right, and I think the intelligence of the Arabian, the versatility Arabian stands out, you know, and it's like you and me. We're not little guys, but they don't have trouble carrying us.
I know,
and that's amazing because they're so strong and they're so sharp. And you know, I just think they're a very pleasant horse to be around.
It's the best move I've ever made, professionally or even personally. It's doing Arab horses is the best thing I've ever, and it's actually thanks to these two, but it's the best thing I've ever done.
Well, see, we love to hear this because this is great.
You know, but it's the truth.